Seems like all I do lately is making guides for roguelikes, and honestly, I don't mind, because I found another one with a great looking art style, guns that feel awesome to shoot, and a unique setting. So once again, I've made a guide for you so you can easily unleash all your fury on the undead, Nazis, or aliens that you'll be fighting. Hi, I'm Epokk from Indie Game Guides, and today I present to you the complete beginner guide for Fury Unleashed. As you're fighting through the comic book pages, you'll be killing enemies with both your gun and your melee weapon. Now with each kill, your enemies will drop one of three kinds of ink: gold, red, and black. Gold is the currency you can use to buy upgrades, guns, and other useful stuff, but as with every roguelite, you will lose everything you've collected when you die. Red are the health pickups, which we will be talking about in a bit. And at last we have black, which is your run-of-the-mill currency that you will be using to upgrade your skill tree. Each time you've collected a certain threshold, you'll get a point to spend. Now in my opinion, since we can change our points in the skill tree whenever we want, we can go two ways. When your goal is purely going after black ink to unlock as much of the skill tree as possible, you're maybe better off with a skill that lets you pick up a lot of ink very easily over on the side to the left. Now when you really want to progress in the game, you should really go down the middle branch, which is all about getting health orbs. Now in general, Fury Unleashed is very cheap with healing items. Now except for one PC which will offer to trade gold ink for health, the only way is to heal through healing orbs. By unlocking the skills in the middle, it'll be easier for you to keep a combo going, which in return will heighten the chance of getting health orbs. Combos are basically the number of kills you rack up with a certain time of each other without taking damage. Now beside that, I'd advise to really increase your max health and a combo shield, because this build is purely based on surviving as long as you can. How you should actually play the game also kind of depends on what you're going for. Now if you want to explore as much as you can, get to know everything the game has to offer and collect as much ink as possible, just explore. Check the map and see which rooms you haven't seen yet. When you just start playing the game, just do this. Just have some fun, learn the basic combat, enemy types, challenges, chops, and so on. Just mess around because Fury Unleashed offers a lot of variation. Before we move on to how to actually beat the bosses, I want to quickly mention that you can always hit me up on Twitter or join our Discord, and you can chat there with me and other indie game enthusiasts. And if you want to have a vote on which indie game gets featured next, be sure to subscribe, because we often organize open questions and do polls to decide which game gets a series of guides next. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about another playstyle. If you're going for progress, you really need to change your mindset, because unless you're a master at combat, you will want to take as little risks as possible. Now I personally would just head to the exit as quickly as possible, which would always be located in the bottom right. Just stop to get some chests and upgrades, as the room doesn't have to be clear to access them, as in most roguelikes. Now if some weak enemies are in your way, be sure to kill them to keep your combo up and collect some ink and health orbs. But as you're rushing through the level, just be sure to still be dodging as much as you can, and if you see the room is a dead end, just turn back without even touching an enemy. Along the way, you may encounter mini-bosses, which are basically enemies with strong attacks and different mechanics. Now they shouldn't give you too much trouble, although some of them are quite a bit stronger than the others. When you defeat them, they will drop a chest with weapons which are often better than most of them that you found up till now. Now, some can freeze enemies or don't need to be reloaded. The type of gun you also get really matters. It really makes a lot of difference in Fury Unleashed. Now personally, I prefer the full automatic weapons like the AKs and Uzis, and later on you can unlock some more sci-fi weapons which deal quite some damage, but I will let you find that out for yourselves. If you're able to reach the exit of the level 3 times, the game will put you up against one of 3 main bosses. Now they hit really hard and are basically a fight where you need to focus on dodging as much as you can, and this would also really be a good time to use your power and your grenades. Now if you defeat the boss, you will be moving on to the next comic book, and if you defeat all 3 main bosses of a comic book, you will be able to start immediately in the next comic book when you're starting a layout. And in case you're struggling with learning the mechanics of the main bosses, you can always change the game's difficulty to easy, because they will still be doing the same attacks but at just a much slower pace. Now if you found this guide useful, be sure to give the video a thumbs up so other people can find it too, and if you want to see more content like this one, consider subscribing. I mean, we publish 3 guides like this one every week and would love to get your input in our open questions and polls in the community page. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.